transformed from a student in jeans and a t-shirt to a professional decked out in a silk blouse and a designer suit with linebacker shoulder pads, de rigueur in the early 80s. I sat behind my huge mahogany desk, looking like a cross between Anna Freud and Joan Crawford. Luckily, I had prematurely white hair in my 20s, which added some much-needed gravitas to my demeanor. Laura was barely 5 feet high, with an hourglass figure, huge almond eyes, and such full lips that had it been 30 years later, I would have suspected Botox injections. She had masses of shoulder-length blonde highlighted hair, and her porcelain skin contrasted sharply with her dark eyes. Perfect makeup, with bright red lipstick, set off her features. She was chic in spike heels, a tailored silk blouse, and a black pencil skirt. She said she was 26, single, and working in a large securities firm. She'd started out as a secretary, but had been promoted to the human resources department. When I asked how I could help her, Laura sat for a long time looking out the window. I waited for her to tell me the problem. I continued to wait, in what's called a therapeutic silence, an uncomfortable quiet that's supposed to elicit truth from the patient. Finally, she said, "I have herpes." I asked, herpes zoster or herpes simplex? "The kind you get if you're totally filthy." "Sexually transmitted," I translated. When I asked whether her sexual partner knew he had herpes, Laura replied that Ed, her boyfriend of 2 years, had said he didn't. However, she'd found a pill vial in his cabinet that she recognized as the same medication she'd been prescribed. When I questioned her about this, she acted as though it was normal, and that there wasn't much she could do about it. She said, "That's Ed. I've already ripped a strip off him. What more can I do?" That blasé reaction suggested that Laura was used to selfish and duplicitous behavior. She'd been referred to me, she said, because the strongest medication wasn't limiting the constant outbreaks, and her doctor thought she needed psychiatric help. But Laura was clear about having no desire to be in therapy. She just wanted to get over the herpes. I explained that in some people, stress is a major trigger for attacks of the latent virus. She said, "I know what the word stress means, but I don't know exactly how it feels. I don't think I have it. I just keep on keeping on, surrounded by the village idiots." Not much had bothered her in her life, Laura told me, although she did acknowledge that the herpes had shaken her like nothing else. First, I tried to reassure her by letting her know that 1 in 6 people aged 14 to 49 has herpes. Her response was, "So what? We're all in the same filthy swamp." Switching tacks, I told her I understood why she was upset. A man who purported to love her had betrayed her. Plus, she was in pain. In fact, she could barely sit. The worst part was the shame. Forever after, she'd have to tell anyone she ever slept with that she had herpes or was a carrier. Laura agreed, but the worst aspect for her was that although she'd done everything possible to rise above her family circumstances, she was now wallowing in filth, just as they always had. "It's like quicksand," she said. "No matter how hard I try to crawl out of the ooze and slime, I keep getting sucked back in. I know, I've almost died trying." When I asked her to tell me about her family, she said she wasn't going to go into all that bilge. Laura explained that she was a practical person and wanted to decrease her stress, whatever that was, so that she could get the painful herpes under control. She'd planned to attend this one session where I'd either give her a pill or cure her of stress.